Good morning, Warzone kids. If you're the kind of person who considers yourself a proud, patriotic American, and maybe you're white like I am, and you think about a movement like the Black Lives Matter movement, and you think, now, they kind of seem like, I'm just going to, assume good intentions here. You say, I ain't got a problem with, equality and all that, and rectifying wrongs, but they kind of seem like they don't like the United States. They kind of seem hostile to the United States. If you're kind of familiar with that kind of basic feeling in some kind of way or another, let me tell you a little bit about what that looks like to me. And I think about the Vietnam War, all right? I think about the Vietnam War because I'm a child of the Vietnam War. My old man is a three-tour combat machine gunner. And the Vietnam War, or what the Vietnamese call the American War, was a calamity for the United States. I mean, we had soldiers over there for decades, and easy to get in, hard to get out, couldn't figure out what to do, all kind of trouble. It was a calamity for us, but it was an utter, complete, and total catastrophe for the Vietnamese. 400,000 dead, something like that. Just a horrendous experience for everyone involved. Now, here's the relationship. We got into that because of the Cold War, and there was a communist side, to call it that, and the Western side. That's why we got involved in there. But Ho Chi Minh did not wake up in bed one morning. He was leader of North Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh did not, pardon me, just wake up one morning and decide, I am a communist. No. He came to that later, after we drove him to it. Ho Chi Minh was, I would call it the war name. I do not know the fella's birth name. I'm sorry, I've forgotten it. But Ho Chi Minh was a Vietnamese farmer, let's call it that, and a nationalist. He loved Vietnam. And when he was a youngster, Vietnam was anything in the world except free and independent. They had a long history struggling against China, struggling against the French, so on. And Ho Chi Minh just wanted his people to be free. He wanted Vietnam to be able to be left alone by everybody else. And in the 1920s, Ho Chi Minh went to Paris to go to college. And while he was there, at least I think he went there to go to college, but he was also looking around for help for Vietnam. And he was a very active kind of guy, and he sought help for Vietnam from everywhere, including the United States. And he wrote to President Woodrow Wilson. And he said, we're a little old country in Southeast Asia. We need your help. We like the United States, and we would love your help. And Woodrow Wilson had other things on his mind, so he told Ho Chi Minh to go take a flying leap at a rolling donut. And Ho Chi Minh was interested in Vietnam and independence for the Vietnamese people, and he needed help. And he kept looking for it. He found no help from the United States. May have been a sound decision by Woodrow Wilson. I don't know. I wasn't there. But Ho Chi Minh didn't find help in the United States. He found help from the Soviet Union. That's where he found help, so that is where he went. When he was looking around for something that sounded better for the Vietnamese people, he came first to the United States, and we gave him the brush off. He still needed help, so he sought help where he could find it. And he found himself developing a relationship with the Soviet Union. The next 4, 5, 6, 7 decades are history. And calamitous, hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese dead, 300,000 boat people in South Vietnam, 50,000 Americans dead, all kind of ruckus everywhere in the world. And if you went back in time about 105 years, you'd find Ho Chi Minh looking for a different way out, and we didn't give it to him. That's what's on my mind when I think about Black Lives Matter, to be specific, because I'm a white dude, and that has broad applicability across the United States. for decades, that leave not even considering for this moment slavery, Jim Crow South, the Tulsa race riots, just somehow as a mental experiment, not even taking all that into account. For decades, black people in the United States have been trying to point out to the rest of the United States, I'll say me, us, me, the United States, their fellow citizens and their fellow human beings. They've been trying to point out, look, it ain't right. The schools ain't right. The penal system ain't right. It ain't fair. It ain't right. The things you do, the things that happen to try to help ain't right. It ain't right. Will you listen? We are being kept down despite the fact that the laws that say you are officially, explicitly being kept down have been repealed and just replaced by mores and kind of under the table, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and we know the kind of people that we want to hire and all that. You see what I mean? They tried for decades. Like Ho Chi Minh tried to get help from the liberal democracy, from the Enlightenment Project of the United States. Well, I would say, and I know many people that consider themselves patriotic Americans would say, why can't radical progressive activists turn to the United States? Why can't they turn to liberal democracy? Why can't they turn to, a different way? Why are they going to stuff that has progressive on it? I'm suspicious about that. What, progressing toward what? And I grew up on the kind of like the Ronald Reagan side of the Cold War, but I'm a human being and I care about my fellow human creatures. So when you give BLM the Ho Chi Minh brush off, when our society as a whole, I'm just speaking loosely, when the white part of the society just gives the brush off to the black part of the society, when it's saying we are being hurt, we need help, and what they hear is the same kind of answer as what Ho Chi Minh heard from Woodrow Wilson, which is, I got something better to do, quit your damn belly aching, it ain't that bad, and look down at your feet. You see some bootstraps on there? Yank on them. I get it. Well, that don't sound so good coming from the people who you kind of feel like, speaking of bootstraps, they pulled their boots up and used them to keep me down, right? That kind of like how it looks like. I would imagine. I tried to follow the golden rule here. What would I think if I was telling people, I'm being hurt. My people are being hurt. I need help. And you tell me, no. See the letter Woodrow Wilson wrote to Uncle Ho? Go read that and go do something else. Leave us alone. Well, I'm still hurt and I'm still going to look for a way out, and I'm going to look for a way out until I find it. That's kind of what I think about Ho Chi Minh and Black Lives Matter and the response. And I'm familiar with the feeling. I know where this feeling comes from of like, why are you going that crazy way? It makes me suspicious about the Cold War. It makes me feel like, there's a communist cell groups forming, whatever kind of thing like that. Well, people need help. Human beings need help in the here and now. And when someone in the here and now tells you that they need help over and over again for decades, and you brush them off and you don't listen to them, and you don't like how they're going about it, and you do everything possible to give them the firm impression that you don't really care, up to and including kind of saying out loud, well, they vote Democrat anyway, screw them. Well, you're the only one that's surprised when they find help somewhere else. Kind of how I think of it. What you're supposed to do about that, you can't do nothing about the big questions. Here's what you can do, is when you talk to a human being and they present themselves to you as having a wound or as having an injustice done to them, you can listen to them in the here and now, because you're talking to a human being just like you are. You can listen to them in the here and now and see what you can do to help them. Follow the golden rule. If you would like it, if you're screaming your guts out that you're being hurt, you would like it if someone listened to you. That's all. That's what you can do in the here and now. You can do that today. I'll do that today. I will if you will. It's a beautiful day on the trail to the western lands. Daylight's burning, Pilgrim. Let's get a move on.